class. Before we start our class for today, let's first have our prayer, which will be lead by Rochelle. Okay, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
About Amen.
Amen. Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So again, good morning, class. What a wonderful day, isn't it? So before we proceed, let me check our attendance for today. If everyone are present. Okay, I see that everyone are in class. So our objective for today's class would be at the end of the lesson, the students, you class, are expected to first define and understand literary devices and techniques, discuss and use literary devices and techniques to compose a poem with the group, analyze the importance of literary devices and techniques in poetry, and lastly, everyone are expected to develop a creative way of presenting the poetry. So, next week, as you can remember everyone, we have tackled about the elements of a story. So, as I review, who can tell me what are the elements of a story? Yes, very good. The elements of the story are the character, we have the theme, we have the setting of the plot, and the climax. Okay, how about what is the highest point of a story? Yes, very good. The highest point of the story is the climax. Why? Because it is in the climax where the hot scene in the story is located. Last, for our review, what is the dramatic struggle between two forces in the story? Yes, very good. The dramatic struggle between two forces in a story can be found in that conflict because it is the conflict that shows the argument in the story, which makes the story more interesting to read. Very good, class. Thank you for participating. I see that everyone has learned something from our discussion last week. So, to have a little overview for our actual discussion today, I have here two pictures. I want to ask one of you to tell me what can you notice about these two pictures? Yes, very good. So obviously, the main difference among these two pictures is the color. The first picture is colorful, and the second picture is black and white. So I want you to tell me to describe the two pictures using the figures of speech. Yes, very good. So you use the figures of speech simply. You use the word live. So you said that the first picture is as lively, like an alive person. Correct? Because the first picture is full of life. And you see different pictures in the picture. One second picture is as bland as a tasteless bread. Why? Because the second picture has no color, it has no emotions. We can detect any emotions from the second picture. Thank you, class. Now let's proceed with the classrooms. Of course, I want to observe orderliness in our class. So I want everyone to listen attentively to the teacher. So when your teacher is discussing here in front, I want everyone to listen to me attentively. Okay. Second, practice raising your hands before speaking or leaving the seat. So raising your hands to excuse yourselves shows respect in the room. And lastly, listen when others are talking. So, when your classmates are participating or answering in my questions during class, I want everyone to pay attention and listen to your classmates and avoid making noises. Next. So, before we start our actual discussion, I prepared here an activity which is called Exploring Literary Devices and Techniques in Poetry. So, I have prepared here a poem. So, who can read the poem? Yes. Thank you. So again, I'll read the poem for everyone to hear and understand. So the poem is entitled Silent Echoes. Moonlight beats a silver glow as stars glance in the midnight's glow. Whispers the night we chat, a symphony of shadows, a whispering chant. Love blooms in the garden of the heart, a hollow masterpiece, a work of art. What an interesting and beautiful poem. So, I prepared here three questions to assess your understanding of the poem that I have presented. So, who can tell me what is the title of the poem? Yes, correct. The title of the poem is Silent Echoes. Next, what is the poem all about? Yes, so based on the book that we have read, it is about describing an emotions that is silently being expressed, not being expressed vulgarly. Okay. Next, what literary devices and techniques were used in the poem? So, what are the figures of speech you noticed that was used in the poem? Yes. Very good. So we have metaphor, which states here that moonlight is a silver glow. So it compares two different things without using the words like or as. We also have personification, which means that giving the mind ability to read and chat. We also have alliteration. The repetition of S to the words silent, echoes, and stars dance, which gives the rhythmic quality. Also, we have simile, comparing the love to a fragile masterpiece, which gives us a message about delicate nature. So that now that we are done with the discussion or a little introduction for our lesson for today, what are your reflection of our the discussion that we have just earlier about the poem as an introduction to our lesson, which will be all about the literary devices? Yes, very good. So now, allow me to discuss the types of literary devices that we have. So first we have the simile. So who can tell me what is simile? Yes? Very good. Simile is comparing two things without using the words like or as. So we have here examples. My brother and I fight like cats and dogs all the time. So we can tell the siblings, my brother and I, are fighting like cats and dogs all the time, which means we fight like strong enemies. We have another one. Bob is as cunning as a fox, which means that Bob is seen as very My brother and I are cats and dogs. So my brother and I, we are comparing ourselves to dogs and cats without using the word like. And we also have another one example, which my mom has a heart of gold. So the speaker here is trying to compare her mom's heart to a gold, which means pure and it is very, it has no amount. Okay? So that is the simile and metaphor. Those two things does the same thing, which is to compare two things. But the main difference is that simile compare two things with the use of like or as, and metaphor doesn't use those words. Next, we have the repetition. Who can tell me what is repetition? Yes? Very good. So repetition is the simple repetition of a word within a sentence or a poetical line. So we have here our example. Get ready, get set, go. So what is the repetition in our example? It's the repetition of the words get, and the letter G. We have used the letter G, get, and we go. We have another example. Ho, sweet ho. So the repetitive or the words that are repeatedly used in this example are the words ho and ho. Okay, next we have the oximer. Who can tell me the definition of oximer? Yes? Very good. Oxymoron is a use of contradictory, contrasting concepts placed together in a manner that actually ends up making sense. So we have here our example, alone together. Alone together. How does it make sense? It says alone, get together. That's why it is called oxymoron. We use two words that doesn't seem to give any sense. But once put together, it does make sense already. So what is the meaning that the first example is trying to tell us? Alone together. It means that there are two people together, but they're feeling themselves in a place that there's only two of them. We have our another example, deafening silence. So to explain deafening silence, it means that there is no any noises that you can hear in a room. Next, we have the foreshadowing. Who can tell me the definition of foreshadowing? Yes? Very good. Foreshadowing is the use of indicative words, phrases, and hints that set the stage for a story to unfold. So we have here our example. Her early interest in airplanes foreshadowed her later career as a pilot. So what is it that our example is trying to say that since the girl is seen as a girl who loves airplanes, so the people thought that she could have a future to be a pilot. That's like an indicative of her having an interest in airplanes that made people think she might want to be a pilot. Next we have the right. Who can tell me what is the definition of right? Yes? Very good. Right is using words that sound alike. So we have here our example. Cook and book, love and flog, cat and cat. So usually when we are young, reading or making a poem, we can usually see that the end of every line and every stanzas of the poem have a rhythmic quality. So I want the class to give me an example of a words or a lines that have a rhythmic quality. Yes? Very good. Thank you so much, class. Now let's proceed. We have the personification. Now, who can tell me what is the definition of personification? Yes? Very good. So, personification is a figure of speech in which a thing, an idea, or an animal is given human attributes. We have here our example. When well apparently felt the heel of the given dress. So to explain the given example, it means that April cannot put on a dress, and winter does not knit, nor does it have a heel to which a month can walk. So the month April here is not a human being, it's a month, April. So, which is given a human quality or attributes. That is what personification is. Now, let's proceed with alliteration. Who can tell me what is alliteration? Yes? Very good. So, alliteration is a stylistic device in which a number of words having the same first consonant sound occur close together in a series. We have our example. The fair bees blue, the white blue, the coral followed free. We were the first that ever burst into the silent sea. Now let's break down our example to see how the alliteration is used. So here, it is said that having the same first consonant sound or close together in a series. So here, the words breeze, blue. These two words have the same first consonant sound, which is the B. That is alliteration. Another one, we have the bold blue, the letter F. It is a alliteration because the first consonant letter of each word starts with letter F and are close together. Same with the formal vowel and the silent C. Everyone understand what is personification or alliteration is? Very good. Now we have the pod. What is the pod? Who can tell me what is a pod? Yes? Very good. So a pod is a play of words that produces a humorous effect by using a word that suggests two or more meanings, or by exploiting similar sounding words that have different meanings. So usually, the basic or the most common definition of pod is it is a joke or saying of words that are meant to be humorous, but it also have a wider definition. So we have here our example. A hint God, Father with God, God. When thou hast God, thou hast not God, for I have God. That after that, thy sun shall shine as it shines now. And heretofore, in the body like that, thou hast God, and fear no more. So if you don't understand this example, you might think it is a joke, it is just meant to make people laugh. But no, as it is stated in our definition of fun, it is effect by using a word that suggests two or more meanings, or by exploiting similar sounding words that have different meanings. And that's what this example is trying to tell us. It's using different words that may sound humorous to some of you, but it's actually trying to convey two different meanings to make sense. So everyone understood what I have just discussed about the figures of speech? Everyone understood. So if you have any questions or clarifications about the discussion, just raise your hand and I will approach you. So far, no one have any clarifications. Very good. Let's make sure you understand our lesson, huh? So now that we are done with our discussion, let's now proceed with our activity to exercise what we have learned in our discussion just earlier. So we
So, in this activity, you are to compose a poem using literary devices and techniques or the figures of speech that we have discussed earlier. So, in here, I will allow you to use your phone because you are going to write your poem on your Google Notes and later on submit it on our Google Documents. So, you will be given 5 minutes to accomplish your work and make sure to do it silently. All right? So your 5 minutes starts now.
Okay, time is up. Okay, since you're done and write down your form in your Google Notes. I want you to upload your words on a Google document.
So of course, we have a criteria to be the basis of how your poem writing will be graded. And we have the following criteria. And we have the choice of words, 10%, style, 5%, literary devices used, 20%, originality and creativity, 15%, with a total of 50%. So class, make sure that you were able to apply all these criteria in your poem so that I can grade your poem accordingly. So for the next activity, you have the activity to be creative. So I want the class to be grouped into five. So let's count: one, two, three, four, and five. So the group one should be here. One, group two, group three, group four, and group five at the back. So what you are going to do is you are going to choose three poems. So earlier I gave you a task wherein individually you made a poem. So in your group mates, you are going to choose three poems among your members to be the basis of your activity.
Using the three poems, you are going to make an advertisement, which means you are going to advertise the three poems. Group two, you have the digital comic poetry using as well the three poems that you have chosen in your group. You have to make a digital comic poetry. For group three, you have to make an audio group. So also using the three points that we have selected, we are going to have an audio group. And for group four, we are going to make a podcast, and group five, a blog. So I will give you 10 minutes to accomplish this activity to somehow have your draft. So of course, be aware of our criteria for this activity. Accuracy of information, 25%. Music, sound effects, and the voice, 10%. Presentation of content or the execution of the procedures, 15% with a total of 50%. Your 10 minutes starts now. Alright, time is up. So what we're going to do with your report that you have done is we're going to record yourselves based on the activities that are assigned to you and have it uploaded on our Google Classroom for me to check it later on. Now, so after doing your activities, what are the things that you have learned? Yes, very good, interesting. Who else would like to share her experience? Yes, very good. I see that everyone had fun and have a good experience and are able to make their discussion is about the figures of speech, I have here another exercise. So individually, again, I want you to compose a poem using literary devices and techniques. You can choose your own theme. Okay? So this will be individually. So to accomplish this, I will give you 3 minutes to finish this exercise. In making this, you can use your MS words to make the exercise. 3 minutes, everyone. Alright, 3 minutes is gone. So what I want you to do with the poem that you have created, I want you to present that in class. Okay? So I will only ask 5 students to present who are willing to present their words in front of the class. Yes? Okay, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for sharing your poem to the class. It's very interesting. I see that you are knowledgeable on how to use the figures of speech accurately. So, of course, to test, or if you really or truly understood the discussion, I would like to ask the class a question that what is the importance of literary devices and techniques in writing? Yes? Very good. So the importance of literary devices and techniques in writing is that it gives life, beauty, and flavor in the words or any text or literary pieces that we are reading. It gives us more interesting view of summing up or coming up a sentence that is expressing in a message in a more creative manner. So to test your understanding of the lesson, I have here a little quiz. So using your Google Classroom, I want you to put your answer directly on your Google Classroom. So direction, match the literary devices on the left with the appropriate examples on the right. So the answer of the letter A or the part A is going to be from the part B. So we're going to determine which is the simile on this part B. Same with the following figures of speech. So you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to finish this task. Okay. Congratulations everyone for accomplishing this task. I want you, after answering your task, I want you to upload it on our Google Classroom. So for your assignment, the activity to be creative, I want you to upload your works on Facebook, and whoever who gets the most likes will win a prize from me.